I've been reliving my childhood. Hey, well, make this hot. I don't want to be trapped at. I'm a lucky guy. My father created an environment with all these great folks like you, knowing full well that eventually he wasn't going to be with us anymore. So he set up an infrastructure, not just for us, but for everything he did prior. Now, everybody knows what he did in public life. Now there's some stuff in private life. As Dylan said, it was an adventure. Dad didn't like grown-ups. If you think back to all the relationships you all were talking about, think about how young you were when you met my father. You were kids. Lenny Coleman, Junius, right? You all were young folks, except for you. I'm just saying. His ability to engage with children is something I'm not sure if you folks understand. My father found talent in places that most folks would never understand either. He'd see a little kid, and the next thing you know, that kid's hanging out and talking to him. I'm going, Dad, you know that kid? He goes, nah, just met him. Next thing you know, 10, 15 years from now, the kid's a lawyer somewhere. Dad, who is this guy? Remember that kid I was talking to at the park? Yeah, well, that's him. He would bring kids home. Go, Dad, who, what? Okay, that was the norm. I came home one day from school, and Glenn Mosley, for all you basketball folks out there, Glenn Mosley and Greg Tynes were playing at Seton Hall University, and there was an NCAA scandal, don't remember the details of it, around Glenn Mosley's recruiting process. Bill Rafferty, Richie Regan decided that they needed to get him off the campus because the press was giving him a hard time. Where did those gentlemen end up? 12 Maplewood Avenue. Folks were talking about horses. Well, I don't know anybody who shows up and says, oh, hey, we have a stable now. In passing, let's go ride. Okay, let's go ride. Where are we riding? Down the streets in Newark. What? Everything with my father was an adventure. Even to the end, it was an adventure. When he had to go to the doctor, I'd go pick him up, take him to the doctor. Everything was an adventure. And we had our little thing. I'd say, Dad, come on, you got to get dressed. Let's go. Nope. Dad, time to do the dance. And he'd start getting himself up and help him to the car, and we had our little thing. Get him out, hands on the door, boom, into the wheelchair. We did our dance. This guy was one of the greatest guys I've ever met in my life. Skip the fact that he was my dad. That is a whole caveat that only one other in this room will ever understand. But he got, somehow intrinsically, the concept that I'm going to set it up and make sure that everything I've ever touched is going to stay forever. That was his vision. Nothing he did was short term. It may have seemed like it at the time, and you might not have known what his motivation was, but there was always something that he wanted to get done. That day, and Sharp, I got to tell a story. When Stellarite got imploded, it wasn't just Sharp. There were assemblymen, there were state folk, there were all kinds of people, housing authority people. And he said, no, 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 no. These kids are pushing a plunger. And literally said, boom, they're blowing the buildings down. Urban Coalition days, and there's a person in this room, Dad was a behind-the-scenes guy and got a lot of things done. But there was somebody who was behind the scenes with him who always made sure things got done, and that's Beverly Ballard. Beverly was with Dad from the beginning of the Urban Coalition to the end of Heningburg Associates. Now, I'm now older than Beverly Ballard. Yeah, Look, I want to thank you all for coming out to celebrate the life of my dad. You all know what he did. Some here know him as a father, grandfather, and everything else. He made me the guy that I am. And today, going forward, I'm going to do everything I can to maintain and honor the integrity and the legacy that this guy brought. Thank you very much.